Well, I've started this thing, so welcome everyone that will see this in the future. Right now I'm the only one here, I believe, but thought I'd start by smudging myself. This is getting myself cleaned off. Man, I need it, I tell you. It's been a rough day. And I always like to start with making a prayer for myself and for all those that will come to see this in the future. This is the last class. I burn a little sweetgrass here. Call it in the sweetness. The last class of the 12 steps in the Red Road. The teachings of the South. So I don't know, my buddy Bob might be here a little later. But for now, I'm it. So my sweet wife is supposed to be landing from London in a few minutes, or she's already landed. She's probably on her way here. So she's been over there for 2 weeks. She's coming back tonight. I'm so grateful to have her back, I tell you. This is the final class of the teachings of the sacred tree and the second half of life, so to speak. There's a lot of things that I don't know how to do. Let's see. There's no sound for musicians. Okay. I'm just getting all situated here. And hopefully I won't be the only one here tonight, but if I am, that's fine. I've had a rough couple of days here. I've been working on this big order for almost 20 kits, drum kits, for a dear friend of mine, and she's picking them up in the morning. So I've been gradually filling the orders, got it all separated out there, ready for her to pick up in the morning. And then I had another Nara came in and ordered another $4,000 worth of rattle kits today. So it's been a good day. I mean, I can't complain, because I should be grateful for what I have. That's one of my prime books that I refer to as Living in Gratitude. And a lot of Angelus Arian's work, and this beautiful book, The Sacred Tree, which if you're only going to buy one book, this is the teachings of the Sacred Tree. This is what I used when I went up on the hill way back in the early 80s and made a prayer for what am I supposed to be doing down here. I had followed my father's God, but I got sometimes if we just ask, it says follow your heart, follow the drum. There was a bear in my dream, and I have that bear on a painted drum. The south direction is your personal mesa. That's like, what do we pray in the north. Be careful what you pray for. But all of these directions, before there was a book, I was reading this book before it was printed. I was using the gifts of the four directions: the air, the fire, the earth, the water. the cycles of a day, the last cycles of a breath, the cycles of nature. So we're coming in on the longest day, the summer solstice next week. And many of you all will be celebrating this solstice, June. June is known as the ripening time, where things. Let me see what that says. Let me get my book out here, Living in Gratitude, and read about June. I love reading the June prayer, and this is the last of the summer teachings of the summer, and then we'll go into the teachings of the fall after a break. We always do 7 classes. 4 times 7 is 28. I do 28 classes a year, and I record them, and hopefully it'll be seen by a lot of my friends and relatives. And the June prayer is the power of equanimity, and I love the prayer here of throughout all generations we render thanks unto thee and declare to praise and declare thy praise evening, morning, and noon for our lives which are in thy care, for our souls which are in thy keeping, for thy miracles which we witness daily, and for the wondrous deeds and blessings towards us at all times. That's a Jewish Sabbath prayer. And give thanks for the little. If you give thanks for the little, you will find a lot. Thank you for the breath of life. Thank you for another day that I get to be with my sweetheart, who's coming in shortly. And the last couple of classes, they go about an hour to an hour and a half, and I record them, and I look at them. Kind of, there's 3 talks you always make: the one you planned, the one you made, and the one you wish you'd made. But if you're living your life as improv, which is free play, so the play is the domain of the East. June is the month of the bride, of the coming together, of creating, planting seeds. What seeds are we planting for the future? And usually we have for many, many years, about 30 years, we've done ceremony out at my place in Washington, the 20 acres out there. But I'm getting old, and my body feels it. I'm taking pretty good care of myself. I'm fixing myself good food to eat, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that Mandy's coming tonight. I'm grateful that I'm able to still teach these classes, sharing my story, a little bit of my story, how I take care of myself. And I love the gifts of these different directions. The South is said to be the place of the 4 bones and the 4. The South is there's 4 kinds of meditations. There's a walking meditation. There's a standing meditation. There's a lying meditation. And then there's a sitting meditation. So this is what have you manifested? What in your prayers have you manifested? And there's another beautiful book that Angela Sarah in one of my woman teachers called The Second Half of Life. And that means the 8 gates of wisdom. And she is such a great teacher. The West that we'll be going into after next week's summer solstice, then we start that journey back to the darkness, back into the shadow, back into the ripening and the harvesting. Like, what have you planted? What dreams have you got? What have you planted? The dreams are in the north. It's also when you fall asleep tonight. This is we're in the 4th ridge, which is when I'm tired and it's hard to do these classes. But for some reason we chose 6:30 to start them at night, so I go till I'm finished, and then I look at it. And hopefully I did pretty well at what I. That first gate that we go through is the silver gate. And when our life kind of shifts in the 4th ridge of life, which is the elders, the winter solstice, Christmas, the darkest night and the lightest night. And I've been working on my end of life directive and putting my family trust together. Put my property as an LLC, and teaching classes on what we do here, Mandy and I. We make drums, rattles, and we sell flutes and medicine. Of course, drums are medicine. We are vibration. This particular, the power of equanimity, June, is what have we got to be grateful for. Because gratitude is always the purest form of prayer. And this is the lying meditation. We're moving into the West, which is, well, we won't talk about let's talk about the South. That's who's in your bed, who you're sleeping with. Let's see. Excuse me, I'm trying to see if we got any other people that are joining us. Making sure okay. So I'll fix myself a little coffee. So the second half of life is more about shifting from accumulating things into the search for what has meaning in my life. My relationships. I've got this beautiful house here in Portland. I've got 20 acres out in Carson, Washington, where I've done sweat lodges for years and years, helping the people pray, going in there, going into Mama's belly, and remembering why in the world we're here. And since I'm old, I don't eat much. I'm down to fighting weight, and I've used an attorney that was supposed to walk us through this, setting up my company as a church, and having Cedar Mountain drums be the fuel that helps it be self-sufficient, but turn it into put all my property and all my assets and give them to my sweet wife Mandy. And I keep looking at this end of life stuff, and I say, to create a will and a revocable will that I can change. An irrevocable will. I'm figuring out all this legal jargon, but what I want to know is, why isn't there a won't? What won't you do? Matter of fact, so many people are fighting. We're fighting wars in Iraq, and most of the wealth is concentrated among the top 3 or 4 people in the world, and they own all the money, trillions of dollars. And so I always like the starting my day with gratitude and say, thank you, God, for waking me up today, and get a good night's sleep, get up before the traffic starts, and making my prayers, because that first hour that you wake up is pretty precious. My hot tub's about 8 foot from my bed, so my morning ritual is water. Is to go out there and soak in that hot water and take a shower, rinse off. Don't leave my dishes dirty tonight, but go to bed with a clean sink, so that I wake up in a new day. And I read this great book called I Touch the Earth and the Earth Touches Me. It says, and there's Ashley. Aha! There's Ashley.
Hello, good afternoon.
I can hardly see you, honey. There you are. You got a light background where you are.
I do. The sun is shining.
Are you down there in LA, La La Land?
I am.
How's it going? How's the two of you all doing?
Yeah, we're doing good. We're having a really hard time deciding what to eat for dinner. Tell you what.
You having a hard time deciding what to eat?
Yep, I want it all.
Well, I know you're eating for two. Well, I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, glad to see you too.
Bob called me and said, well, I might be a little late if I come at all, because I'm not feeling really hot tonight. So,
Oh no.
but I'm grateful you're here, and I've got this thing started, and I've got it recorded, and I've kind of already smudged and brought in the day and was talking about the June, the living in gratitude, and the second half of life, where our first half of life is about accumulating things. Like Ashley's been all over the world working for Lululemon, and goes overseas and brings me gifts. She and Casey have been an amazing help. They've been all the way through the cycle, and now she's with child. So that's beautiful. And bringing a new being into the world. That's our future. And we make prayers for that the children have hope. I mean, hope is what springs eternal. That's the morning. That's when I get up. That first hour that I spend is how my day goes. So I got up this morning and went in there and fixed breakfast. I've got an order for 20 drum kits that she's picking up in the morning at 9 o'clock. Mandy's on her way in. She should be here any minute now. She's been over in London for 2 weeks. She's coming back to stay with me and help me. And I'm grateful that at 85 I can still run my business when my business isn't running me. and not worry about so much anything. Living in gratitude is the most beautiful thing I can think of to do. And next week is the summer solstice. So I was reading about the power of equanimity. We're all equal, and bring hope for the children. Because it looks like all the power is focused on a few people. All the money is focused on a few people. Lululemon's one of the big corporations. And Ashley was working for Nike before that. And I had a fellow come in the other day. He says, I was at that gathering at Nike that you did up in Canita. And he says, I want to take a picture of us because I want to send that to Jerry Conlon and all those guys. And the other guy that was in there was that guy that wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. What was his name? And Sometimes a Great Notion. He was in that circle that I led up there. I did the drum circle and the drum making for Nike. They still talk about it. And it was great to see that one person, because I hadn't talked to anyone that had been to that circle. But he took my picture and he's going to send it to Skip, who was then the design manager at Nike. And it was a great experience. It was one of those where I said, man, I did a great job. I was on. So, yeah. So my life has shifted from accumulating things to getting rid of things. And it seems like the more I try to get rid of, the more comes in. So it gets back to nobody gets poor through giving, being generous. So the gifts of the South are they're beautiful. I mean, the gifts, I haven't talked about them much, but the South is where I start my drum. Start my drum down and say this is South, West, North, and East, or East. It goes North, the dream, the morning, the noon, and the evening, and then we go back into the dream. So we're starting down here in the South. What are you praying for, and what are you manifesting out of your prayers? And what's it going to take to do that? It usually takes the courage, the simple serenity prayer saying, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change. I can't change who shows up. I can just say, I'm going to show up. I remember when I did 12 play shops at my church, and I said, I commit to show up 12 times. I don't care if nobody shows up, I'll show up. So making a commitment is the dream. Like when I woke up this morning, I said, how can I have balance? My buddy just got his PhD, and he's been here visiting me, staying here. And he's a PhD, just got his PhD, and he brought his sister who's pregnant too right now, and her husband. And they did a Jungian gathering out at Lewis and Clark College. And he left while Mandy was over there in London. And but he said he'd be on the board of my new Pinson Family Trust, and where we're going to make Cedar Mountain Drums more of a non-profit, a church, and having a retreat center out in Carson. You still planning on going out there, all right. So making prayers and being in nature is perfect for the soul. It's like people in the city go out to the country, they don't know how to act. They don't bring the right clothes. Everybody in the city is hurry, 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 hurry. But say slow down to the speed of life. Because I'm more when my last child left the nest, I took my watch off. I said, I wake up when I wake up. And first thing I do is stretch and say thank you for another day. If you only have one prayer the whole day, is thank you. Thank you for the breath of life, and thank you for that little one that's inside of me. That's my friend Ashley there. And Casey, they've helped me, and they're smart as both of them. They're good people, and I'm happy to have them getting of their time and helping me out with technology, which is my weakest link. And I did get the I could bring up the gifts of the South. But let's see, I have a, where is it? If I'm supposed to find it, I'll find it. Let's see here. Well, let's just go to this book here. The Gifts of the South. It's a beautiful time. It's a time to bring your dreams into manifestation. What are you manifesting in your life? Well, Ashley's manifesting a child. And that's a beautiful gift. When we go into the sweat lodge, we go back into Mama's belly so we can remember why in the hell we're here. That's what's our destiny down here. And we go through cycles as we age. Like when you get to over 80, like my dad lived to 88, and my mom lived up into a long time, and she always helped me out. My mother was always there for me. She was a Virgo. And Ashley's a fire sign. So if you want things started, you get an Aries. And they'll get things initiated. And when she gets older, she'll start teaching what she knows. Because at first you know it, and they pay you for knowing and being fast. When you get older, the first gate you go through is the silver gate. And that's trying out new things. Like when you get old, don't let age, what was that great book, When I'm Old I Shall Wear Purple? Well, what the hell's old? And if you ask people, when I was in grad school, I did this whole session on hospice, dealing with death and dying people. And I'd go up and talk to these people that were in hospice. And like Ashley, you just had that with your dad who had the heart surgery. When we get old, are we circulating? Because our heart is, the Heartspace is what I'm calling the land out there at both Portland and Bear Creek, Carson. But I have a Glenn, my buddy, went out there and cut it for me. So I didn't have to. I love to cut that place. I love to go out there. But when I got a store and I got all these orders, it's hard for me to get out of town.
Hi.
Well, here she is.
Just gonna bring my bags in.
Okay, she just showed up. Yay. So I think I've got everything rigged here where I can. Let's see if I know how to do this. If not, I got a pro right here. It'll help me. Let's see if I go to down at the bottom. Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay. You open this photos. Now, let's see. And then I go back to. Okay, how do I do this actually? I've got it up. I've got the photos up, but the share screen, is it? Do I hit the share?
Yep.
Yeah, I got it. And if I go here, and I go here, let's go share this. Hey, look at that.
You did it!
Well, I'm not stupid, but sometimes I feel like it. So, let's see. This is a summary directions. Let's see if we can't find the gifts of the South. Such a beautiful. Here we go. This is what I'm looking at. Okay, the South, and then we expand that, right? So here are some of the gifts that we pray for in the South direction. It's appreciation for the, Frankie's only 3, but he's quite a character. Frankie's been over here playing with me, and Casey's been taking care of Frankie. But the South is, how were you when you were 6 to 10 years old? Like, what's the child that's always inside of us? I don't care how old we get, if you lose that child, which is fullness, it's manifestation. It's like having a goal, and then, like, I was going to make a bunch of kids, and I set a goal. I'm going to do today, I'm going to try to have balance, which is not try, but I'm going to have balance. I'm going to take care of my mind, my body, my spirit, and my soul. And practice gratitude. So this morning I went out there and got in that water, and sometimes I don't want the jets on. I just like the still water, because I can reflect, because the South is reflection. And here are some of the gifts: youth, fullness, summer, the heart, generosity, sensitivity, loyalty. It's like who's in your bed. Are you loyal to yourself? Noble passions. It's making babies into appreciation of the finer things in life. The love for one another, like your love for Casey. It's about physical balance. It's like, and the control of appetites, so that you learn how to modify, like not go out to eat all the time, but fix my own meal. I got up and fixed me some breakfast, and I just ate a little bit, and then I stopped eating. But this is control of appetites, determination, setting goals. Say, this is what I want to accomplish. Come and give me a kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my sweetheart. Oh, I got you some potato chips out there.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I'm grateful to have Mandy back. I washed that thing because I spilled orange juice on it. So.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so when we pray, we say, well, what are the gifts of the South? Every day I wake up in the bondage of self, so to speak. My chi goes away every night. So yesterday's spirituality doesn't work today. And so I get up and take a shower and go in there, and I leave my sink clean and go to bed with the dishes done so I don't wake up with yesterday's stuff dragging on me. So senses training, like musical development. So this morning I went in there and played the piano, and I played because I know how to play, but I got to take the time to learn new things. So that's the Silver Gate. The Silver Gate is we come through every morning, and down in the south direction we become passionately involved in the world, and we have idealism. We have high goals for ourselves, attractions to good and repulsion to bad. It's like attracting to what has heart and meaning, compassion, and kindness. That's such great gifts. Kindness is a language everybody understands. When you say, if nobody's told you they loved you today, I do. Sometimes we get down on ourselves. It's nice to have people coming in and hugging me and developing and control, development and control. In other words, I don't let things go too long. Ability to express either my positive or negative feelings. Saying I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm angry, I'm afraid. Those are feelings. And that's the West that we'll be moving into. Repulsion of violence, anger at injustice, kindness and compassion, and development and control of the ability to express positive and negative, and to serve others, not just to serve myself, but how am I helping others? That store down there is like my church, and that's what I'm doing. I'm making a church here and a retreat center out there in Portland, in Carson, and doing away with the oxymorons of wildlife management and forest management. And I've noticed that the forests do a good job of managing themselves when we don't interfere. But they bullied their way across my road. It was a private road. That's why I bought those 2 lots out there, because it's private. And until they want it, and they want to clear cut the trees above me. So I fought Weyerhaeuser and some of those big lumber companies to keep them from clear cutting above me. But I lost that in court. And I'm not very happy about it, but there's some things I can't change, and that's one of them. So those gifts are, you're not entitled to any of these gifts. You have to work for them. But it's nice to know, in each, like in the north, that's the winter solstice. We're moving from the longest day. We usually have a ceremony. Some people go to church, and all the Christian holidays are or next to the pagan holidays. Over in Ireland, they would celebrate the solstices and the equinox. And we're in the summer solstice. And we've been in the Oak King energy, and we're moving into the Holly King energy. So the gifts of the South, and then we move into the silence of the West. So there'll be a gap, and we'll do 7 classes leading up to the autumn equinox, and preparing for ceremony. So preparation is 90% of ceremony. Like how I start my day is usually how I end my day. Learning how to finish what I start. Earning the gifts of the 4 directions. And say, well, I'm not entitled to them. Who's sleeping with you? Who's in your bed? That's the lying meditation, is the south direction. It's like, I like to go to bed and sleep and wake up by myself, but I love hugs and at my age, I'm not too interested in sex anymore. It's like I'm double Scorpio, so sexual energy is a legitimate feeling. And there's also the light side and the dark side. So the east is the new beginnings. As we start after Christmas, we all make resolutions, and then the east is where Persephone comes out of the lower world and brings the ones ready to come up out of samsara, which in Buddhism is the shadow. And how do we dance with our shadows? How do we, and balance is, if you're balanced and you have what you think, what you do, what you manifest, and how do you feel about it is in the West. We're going to the zenith, the summer solstice, the longest day, and then the Oak King does battle with the Holly King, and the Holly King wins this battle, so we move into the Holly, the order. Does your life have order to it? Is there a direction? Like, who are you? Where are you going? And if you don't know, wait. The Creator has 2 answers, 3 answers. Yes, no, and wait. So patience is what's needed in patience and learning to love yourself first, and break some of the cycles of addictions, like the 4 universal addictions. Is, the need to know, perfectionism, focused on what's not working in my life rather than what I got to be grateful for, and intensity, which means I have to keep busy. I can't rest. So if you want things started, you get a good Aries or a Leo, like my sweet wife, fire signs. And then I'm a water sign. So we have to have the balance of the air, the fire, the air in the north. That's your dream. Which many say that the dream is when you fall asleep tonight. It's also when your last breath, and then that pause, and then you bring in the new. It could be broken down to how's life breathing you, and how are you feeling grateful for what you have, rather than look at what you don't have. And breaking those negative addictions, and turn them into something positive. Like learn how to love myself and be kind and be a minister and have compassion. You know, the laws of the sacred pipe. I'm going to get out of this one. Turn that back down. And maybe here's one that Ashley likes. I don't know where she went, but here's
I'm eating dinner.
aha. This is samsara. There's so many ways to look at this. The realms of suffering. It's interesting that they have 6 realms of samsara, which is what are the 4 noble truths? Life, suffering. There is a way out of suffering. And that 3rd one is see the world as it is, not how you want it to be. And letting go, absolutely. Because I have no control over anything except my attitude, whether I'm happy or not. But this is, if we shift out of here, the only realm that we can get out of, the bardos, is, and the 3 animals that feed that dark side is the cock, the pig, and the snake. The cock, the pig, and the snake. The cock is pride, false pride. The snake is desire. That's like Eve was tempted by the snake and took a bite of the forbidden apple, and all the Old Testament stuff that you learned in Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, and delusion, or we call that the pig. The pig, it's ignorance. But also there's heaven and hell, which are 2 realms of suffering. And they say that nobody dies, we just go to sleep and don't wake up. But we're free, we're back home. And the way out of suffering is to say, well, I ain't the man I want to be, but thank God I ain't the man I used to be, and I'm grateful that I'm in good health, and don't particularly like to deal with lawyers and doctors, but they have a place, and I mustn't judge, or I will be judged. So wear life like a loose garment. Don't take yourself too seriously. And every day, if you have a balance of work and play, spending time with the people you care about, and trying something new, that's the second half of life. We come through the silver gate, and that's to do something I'm scared of every day, to take some risks, keep myself young, don't get closed-minded, closed-hearted, but be generous with my time, talent, and treasures. But also pay myself first. My grandpa gave me that advice when I was a little boy. He said he'd give me a silver dollar every time I'd see him, and he'd say, "Now you save that silver dollars." And then later he says, "You pay yourself first, unless you put some aside every week for you, and that's to thine own self be true." So don't get too attached to anything, because attachment creates suffering. So the opposite of samsara The only realm we can get out of is that negative wheel is to see the world as it is, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path out of suffering. And that's the Buddhist path. That's not the Christian path. That's saying there's a big difference between spirituality and religion. So my religion is fly fishing, I say, because I love to fish. I don't go to catch, I go to fish. And I like to release those little critters, but to play a fish is not to hog it in and see how many I can catch, but to learn how to play every day, to vote. Every day we get to vote, to play or not to play. And when we vote not to play, then atrophy wins by default. And so the mind starts atrophying, the body starts atrophying, the soul and the spirit starts atrophying. And so having that balance, like this morning I got up, I just had my dear friend's visit from Illinois. He just got his PhD, and he stayed with me, and he fixed my Casio piano that I asked him to, and he did. And I got my piano all hooked up now, and I went in there and played a little bit this morning. So I've got a lot to do, but I've got to daily do that maintenance, that taking care of myself first, and being grateful for fire signs, because they get a lot of things done, and they teach me, but I'm stupid. I mean, I'm not stupid, but I'm slow. And I try to say, just do the best you can today, because that's all you got. There's no tomorrow anyway. And AA, they say, it's one day at a time. I don't take the first drink of alcohol, and my life gets pretty daggone happy. And it's been, hell, if I make it next January, I'll have 52 years without a drink of alcohol. But I had to learn to do all those things I drank to do when I was sober. And let's see what else we got here. I love this. This is the lessons of a pipe carrier. So AA has promises like, we are sure that our Creator wants us to be happy, joyous, and free. So compassion. I love the first three: health, happiness, and help. See, take care of myself in mind, body, spirit, and soul. And if you're struggling and you're out laughing at several times a day, then you know you're attached to something. So all attachment leads to suffering. So helping people out, when I say, Ashley, could you come and help me? There's this great church sign I saw down in Texas while I was down there back when I was wearing a three-piece suit and making big money. It says, if you're too proud to admit you're hurting, don't be surprised if nobody seems to care. So I say, I need help. Because pride will say, well, I don't want to let them see my dark side. But the shadow is what we dance with. We used to make, my dad had a 8mm camera, and he'd have set up the screen and put some camera film he'd made, 8mm film, of when I was 2 or 3 years old. I still have all those old tapes. And respect, and it starts with self-respect, because I sure can't respect Ashley if I don't respect myself? So it all, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. So it's like taking care of myself. And having compassion means that kindness is a language everybody understands. As you say, nobody gets poor through giving. So it's first we want to accumulate when we're younger, and when you get older, you want to divest because you realize you can't take any of that stuff with you. So taking care of yourself and not getting too stressed out at any one thing, and being grateful. Like this morning, I said, "My gosh, I had a Native American group come in and says, we need to spend $4,000. Could you tell us what we should buy?" I say, wow, that's great to have the trust of a group that works, that's taught me a lot, and I've taught them a lot. So first, you develop the gifts that you have, and then you share them. Generations, having respect for the unborn. Like my brother just crossed over in April. My older brother, he was my hero, and he's in the fourth ridge, which is he's back in spirit. But he lived a good life, and he was my hero. I think of him a lot, and he shows up in my dreams. So I've been keeping the dream journal. Quietness. It's like, don't turn that TV on. Just listen to the quietness. That's why I like to get up around 4, 5 o'clock. I go to bed early, and I wake up early. So those are they say the 7 laws of the sacred pipe. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, here's part of what I was talking about earlier. Now, if we get on this one, and then here's this is the way of the warrior. This is Angelus Arians. This is a dream. So when you fall asleep at night, you're in the element of air. So you fall asleep. You don't rise asleep. You rise in the morning and fall in the evening. Fall asleep. So the creatures are the air, the creatures of the air, like the birds, the hummingbirds, the eagles, the condors, all the winged ones. The human resource is power. God grant me the power to change the things I can, the power. The kind of meditation is a standing, like that's a backbone. The way of the warrior means you take a stand. You say no, learn to say no. When you're first starting, it's difficult because people pleasers don't like to say no. But once you practice those muscles, they turn into kindness, like, no thank you, because I'm not storing up things. It's like I let that shadow out, and I play with it. It's like the healing salve is dancing and singing. So if you're still dancing, I know Ashley dances, and they go to the temple and meditate. The instrument is a rattle in Angelus's way. And the season is the winter. That's the warrior. That'd be the winter solstice. That would be the... And then over here in the... Let's see here. Go back down. Go over here in this side. Let's see, bring this up. And then in the east, she's got the way of the visionary. like the gifts of the East are the gifts of the child, of Frankie, and that little one still in the waters. And the direction is it's the element of fire, which is Ashley's element. And let's see if I can read that. The creatures, the desert and no-legged creatures, like the snake in the East, the no-legged. The way of living is right placement, like where do you work, what place do you occupy. The fourfold way is the tall, tell the truth. Even if your voice shakes, you tell the truth. The healing salve is singing, and the instrument is the bell. That's instruments of the east direction. And then in the south is the element of earth, which is what grounds you. That's your legs. So how you're supporting yourself and how you supporting others. That's earth. It's the four-legged creatures, like the elk, the deer. The drums that I make are made out of skins, and the drum, the Native American drum that I make single-sided drums and double-sided drums, and I've done it for since the 80s when I went on did that ceremony. The human resource is loving, love, but love is not love till you give it. So the kind of a meditation is a lying. Who's lying with you? The way of living is right. Way of living is right speech. And the fourfold way is give yourself, learn to pay attention, which means be able to listen to someone and then reflect back to them what they said. And the healing salve is storytelling, telling your story. Whatever that story is, it can help a lot of people. And so we're moving into the fourth ridge of life is let's see, it's over here. Just a minute here. Let me see if I can get this. Here we go. There we go. The way of the teacher. And that's the element of water. That's my element. So that would be the fall, the cycle of the fall. Let's see, the creature is water creatures, the fish, the things that live in the water, tadpoles, frogs, ducks. The kind of meditation is a sitting meditation. It's like with the back straight. It's a sitting meditation. And the kind of the way of living is right timing. Know when to time things. Like that old Kenny Rogers song, you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them, and you got to know when to walk away, and you got to know when to run. So the instrument is sticks and the bones, like the things that wear out, and we go back to spirit and we lose this body. If we're taking care of it, it'll last a long time. And the season is autumn. So those are the fourfold ways that I learned from a woman, and that's good salve for the soul. And the way of the, I don't know if I've got that on here, but let's see. Let's see now. Okay. Ashley,
Yes, sir.
what, how do I get out of this one?
You want to stop sharing or you want to go back to your album?
I want to go back to the album.
There's a arrow button on the top left corner of the screen. Yep, you're almost there. Go left, a little bit more left. It's right by the slider. Do you see the circle slider?
Over
Oh,
here?
nope, go right.
Hey,
Right
look,
there. Press that.
hey, look at that. Thank you, dear.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if there's anything in here. Well, here's another one I really like. It's something I did many years ago, but these are ways to be. And I wrote all this stuff in my journals. Say, ways to be. It says Heartspace, the journey from the head to the heart. The attributes of the heart are circulation, patience, space, love, wisdom, and compassion. The language, how we clean up our language, is words or phrases that come from either or is Western language, like right, wrong, good, bad, fixing, defensive postures, protecting rather than nurturing, risking, real and authentic. The following create a list of victim abuser mentality, black and white thinking. So then I have heaven, hell. Those are two extremes. Either or rather than both and. Good, bad rather than this is a positive way and this is my shadow. Right, wrong rather than saying, well, I ain't the man I want to be, but I'm on my journey. I ain't the man I used to be, so I'm grateful. Win, lose is saying, well, wisdom is knowing that those when that creates competition, and competition is what separates spirituality from business. If there wasn't competition, like Mr. Nike sells shoes and he was a runner, all or nothing, which means both and, that's my substitute for all or nothing. Never always, well, sometimes, and it's like dare to be average, avoid the extremes. It, can you say I rather than it? There's a hard one to break. Like I looked at my attorney's thing. It is believed it. What is this it thing? Say I'm scared. It scares me. But to speak from would be to say, speak from how you're feeling, not talk about how you're feeling. But if you eliminate the buts, I love you, Ashley, but, and try adding and. I love you and I didn't like what you did. So that's like saying, people can hear that, but every time you say but, they quit listening. They say everything I said before that is canceled. And generalizations like, well, we all do that, rather than saying, I do that sometimes, but I ain't perfect yet. And our culture is another way of dodging I, or you know, which is saying, you know how it is. No, I don't know how it is. Tell me. Can't. If I say I can't do things, then sure enough, I've created a barrier. So if you say I'm not going to do that today, but I'll sure consider it. I'll bring it into my circle. But I like the won't. I won't do that right now. I'm not ready. I don't know is often used as a dodge. I don't know. As a counselor, I would say, well, if you did know, what would you do? I don't know. Well, if you did know, what would you do? So, try, that's another dead word. Say I will, that has power, but if I'll try to do that. That's a cop out. Here's another great one. You make me feel. So we're blaming other people for our feelings. So actually, I create my feelings, not you. Say I'm angry, I'm scared, I'm horny, I'm happy. Those are feelings. We don't put them on other people making us feel what we feel. We own it. Telling people what they should do rather than sharing, this is what I did in a case like that. And explanations. Well, let me explain. Well, explanations are defense mechanisms. So, and
I got a question.
okay.
I disagree. I think that sometimes people can make you feel things, and even if the emotions come from within, people still have an effect on other people.
You can say, I'm mad, I'm scared, I'm angry,
I'm annoyed.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
That's the I, not putting it on somebody else.
Mm.
You're 100% responsible for your feelings. People don't make you feel. That's self-betrayal. So you got to recapture that little girl in there that says, I'm feeling a little nervous right now. But that's what you're feeling, not you make me feel nervous. So just try that on for size. You don't have to. Should. Well, this is what I should do. Well, nothing ever got done by a should. So if you say, I'm not ready yet, but thank you. I'll put that in my, I'll bring it in my circle. Why questions. Well, kids can ask why questions. Why is the sky blue? Why is the... So they ask a lot of why questions. But when we get older, we make statements. I'm going to change that about myself. I'm working on it. I will do it. I'll have the courage. Don't make assumptions. If you don't know something, ask. Don't assume if a man and woman come in that they're partners. So you ask questions rather than making assumptions, because a lot of relationships get screwed up because of assumptions. Well, I thought you wanted this, rather than asking. And expectations, those are planned resentments. So if I expect Ashley to show up, I'm going to be disappointed. If I'm surprised, wow, she actually showed up, I'm happy. So those are just little things that, words that connect. As I love this. I rather than it. I am. I will. And rather than but. I would like you to make a request rather than asking a question. Why are you throwing your clothes on the floor for me to deal with? Say, I would like for you to pick up those clothes, please. I feel, and whatever you're feeling, angry, sad, afraid, sexual, happy, ashamed, those are all feelings. I'm ashamed of myself. and clear responses like not no and yes, rather than procrastination. Say, I manifest, I trust, I respect. I trust. Trust is the lubricant that makes everything happen. And willingness, I will. I ask permission rather than make assumptions. That's, they might have a hug. That's asking for what you want. Or I would like to hug you is even more powerful. And they could say, well, I don't feel like a hug right now. So that gives, I can ask for what I want, but I might be rejected. But if I don't ask, I'll never know. And make an agreement saying, how do you feel supported, Ashley? And let me see if and I'll show you how I feel supported. So that's the earth, that's the south, that's the summer solstice. So accountability is that I am accountable for my behaviors and for 100% of my reality. And these are aspects of the goddess. This is something I learned down in L.A. when I was doing a show down there from Lynn Andrews. She says there's two types of women. There's great nurturing mother, and her dark side is death mother, because if you don't let her nurture you, she'll kill you. And then there's rainbow woman, who's a woman that'll take her kids to the opera and to the OMSI, and they take them all to inspire them. And her dark side is crazy woman. If you don't let her inspire you, she'll drive you crazy. So that's the light and the dark side that I learned from women, and those are things that I've learned as part of my recovery, and learning to do all the things that I used to be afraid to do, but having the courage to fail. Like, I'm not a mistake. I can say I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I assumed something I shouldn't have assumed. So I can that's repenting. That's called correcting your course. So, what time is it? 7:46, my gosh. So, Heartspace is a journey from the head to the heart. So people come in and start playing the drum, and I notice they're holding their breath. Sometimes I ask, have you been abused? Yes. Talk about how you were abused in your mind and your body and your soul and your spirit. Those are real powerful things. So when I say, I love that my wife's here, but I'm happy when she's not here, but I feel very relieved when the people I love show up. Like Ashley showing up tonight. I'm grateful that you're here. And I can share a little bit of this stuff. So what do you got to say, Ashley? Are you still eating?
No, I'm done. I don't know. I don't have anything to say. Tired.
Yeah. You tired?
Super tired. I'm happy. I'm excited to go home tomorrow, hang out with my family, be at home.
Yeah, you've been all over the world running around for Mr. Skip Wilson or whatever his name is.
Mhm.
From Canada. Registered with the New York Stock Exchange. I tell you, I like to look at these people and I wonder what their life was like, that they have a lot of money. Sometimes that's the biggest trap you ever saw. Because you realize you can't take any of that stuff with you. Just be kind to people and help out when you can. And you're worth. Nobody can tell you how much you're worth. are precious. Where there's life, there's hope. So some of the people are down there struggling, and we pray for them. So Portland used to, I'll read a little bit of Facebook, because that's where old people hang out more than what is the three meta things, the WhatsApp and Facebook, and what's the other one? Anyway, have an Apple or Microsoft or all the billionaires. Then, well, there are some very generous people that have money, and I've known a lot of them. They say, I want to give all away my money before I croak. I'm not going to give it to my kids. They'll just ruin it. They don't. So let your kids be, you're not their kids. Maybe they're in you. Thanks to Casey, the seeds were planted. But that little one is not your child. You're just taking loving care of him by taking loving care of yourself. And that's nothing more important than caring for the little ones inside. And it starts with you. And so you're getting to go home and you're tired and you're still here, and I appreciate it. But I just give you things to chew on, and you'll do that. I know you. I'd like to set up, when you got time, if you can come over and set up the Teaching of the West thing, and figure out when the autumn equinox is. Set up 7 classes.
Be there.
We go into the shadow, going into the west. I did a lot. Well, how do you feel about it, Ashley? I'm tired. Yeah. Well, take care of yourself. Take some good old Ashley time with those children, with the ones you love. That's about the South. One of the gifts of the South is being with your family. The love of one for another. That's a gift of the South that I really love. So every time you hear this, you'll hear something different. And I'm sorry Mr. Bob didn't show up tonight, but when you're over 80, or getting up that where the two geezers usually are here sharing. But sometimes I'm by myself. Like last week, I shared for an hour. And I said, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. So I'd like to maybe just ask for special prayers for my sister Ashley, and for Frankie and the little one inside of her, and for Casey. And bring her safely home to Portland, and help her prepare for taking care of herself by going out to Bear Creek and bringing in the new moon.
The full moon.
The full moon. But that's when the lunatics come out. But that's going to be a beautiful, beautiful week. And that's the cycle of woman. It's 28 days. So, next week maybe I'll talk about the cycle of men, because Olson and I have been talking about things I've learned from women. All this stuff I've read from Angela Sarian, or that other one that wrote The Secret Life of Birds. She wrote an article called The Non-Progressive Great Spirit. But there's nowhere to get to. All you got is right now. And AA knows that. So just do the best you can today, and be grateful that you're still that you're here and you're coming home. Prayers of gratitude for Mandy, and I'm going to get ready to go to bed because I'm tired. So I'll stop this recording unless you got anything to close with there, sister.
Great to see you, Patrick. Thank you for doing these classes,
You're welcome.
for leading us on this journey. Such a
Okay.
good guide.
It takes one to know one. Okie dokie. Well, hope to see you next cycle. So let me know when you can help out, when you take care of yourself first.
See ya. I'll text you.
Okay, honey.
Night.
Good night. I have a... Oh, yes. End meeting. Stop recording. There we go.